self-heal, and the fact that it also makes her invulnerable as well. This is a pick that, when it comes to the LPL tournament that I was talking about before, Ness, they actually picked N-Band as champion as well as a priority pick for them as well. And we're starting to see why it is that self-heal ultimate is very, very strong on her now. But we have this Soraka being hovered right now on the side of Kruglife. So as I mentioned before, I was talking about, hey, we might see Miss Fortune getting banned, and look, it did get banned, and Jax got banned as well. But I don't think you really have to ban Jax against Royal Luck, just because Jax is that top laner you ban against someone that either A, has a lot of Jax games under their belt in solo queue, or B, they're a split pushing top laner that wants to look for the split push with Jax and then, just TP in for the team fights. And Soraka does get picked on for blue side right here. And we have Tam Kench being hovered immediately thereafter.
Those are both pretty pretty annoying supports to have to deal with. What about you, Alan? What do you think? Which one's more annoying? Who would you rather face, a Soraka or a Tahm Kench?
I'd rather face a Soraka rather than a Tahm Kench. 100%.
You believe the invulnerability is just, the ability for Tahm Kench to devour one of his teammates is just way more valuable than what always seems to be infinite healing in solo queue from Soraka?
I think Tahm Kench's ability to have a semi-global ult and go anywhere with a carry or a tank, along with his ability to scale with HP and damage you at the same time, and of course swallow carry if they're in trouble. That's just too much for me. I don't like it. But if you face Soraka, you know that all you have to do is just 2 vs 2 bot lane, pick Ignite, go ham on her, take her out, and the ADC can't do anything. Bam, she's done. And yeah, and she kind of falls off after mid game. So I'd rather face Soraka than Tahm Kench, 100%.
We are going to be seeing the. Is this still 100% pick rate, Ashan?
Not 100% win rate anymore after that last game, unfortunately.
Right. But this is how many games have been played? 2, 4, 6. This is the 7th game, and this is the 5th Malphite. Something like that.
So far, it's been. Let's see. It's been 5 games of Malphite, and it's been won 4 out of the 5.
Wow. So still 80%, pretty nasty for sure.
So we're gonna see if this is another team trying to ride the Malphite free low. But it's very interesting though, right? That we're seeing this pick actually becoming a meta pick right here in iLOL. Everyone's seeing that, hey, if one team this pick is winning so many games, just try to run it, see what you have. And it is a best of 3 series. They are up on it. They do lose this game, still change up your picks and bans thereafter. But I am liking the picks that they have so far on the side of Royal Luck, but I'm not sure about this Diana pick again for the jungle. Again, like I mentioned from before, is really weak team fighter. You have to go for those flanks, or else not going to be doing much. I feel that if you want to look for this carry style jungler that does a lot of damage, you should have just went for a Kindred. And especially when you're playing against a Malphite, Kindred would have been really good, because if he tries to dive onto you guys, he won't die because he has the safety of the Kindred ulti. And here we're talking about, look at the Kindred being hovered right here. But yeah, I don't know about him. We know he is going to play Bard, because as the Tahm Kench got locked in.
This is an inside joke between me and him, actually, because I play a lot of normal games with US Economy. He's been practicing his Bard jungle, and I'm not going to lie, it's pretty nasty. I would be very pleased if he were to lock this in, because I know he could pull it off.
What's the theory craft on that Bard jungle build with this Runeblade Nashers too?
There's still a hope. There is still a hope. He could still pick the Bard jungle. I am going to be so excited, but this is more than likely going to be. Wait, what is this? Oh,
is this Shen jungle?
No, there's no hope. It's going to be jungle Malphite, because he played it before. Remember?
Yeah.
So it's going to be the jungle Malphite with the Shen top.
Or better yet, what if it was Shen top, Tam support? No, that's what I was saying. I was thinking, what if it was Malphite top, Shen support, and Tahm Kench jungle?
Oh, there's a lot of flexibility with the composition that they're having so far. And one thing that just screams out of my head, or screams at me right now from the side of Royal Luck, tank. Shen, Tahm Kench, Malphite. Whatever AD carry you're about to pick, Arrows, good luck with that, brother, because
it's going to have to be a late game scaling hyper carry that can deal with tanks.
Don't go ADC. Go tank. Go tanky. Go Urgot. Do it.
Urgot does have the armor penetration in his build path.
Oh, that sucks.
But yeah, that's even though they do go for the Caitlyn locking. While Caitlyn is a good lane bully against the Tristana, there's the fact that her mid game won't be able to handle those tanks just yet. We have Annie being hovered onto Royal Lux. So now if they do opt to go for this Annie pick, that means that they have a lot of hard engage on their side because we have Malphite ultimate followed up by Annie's Tibbers, and then along with that, along with all the CC chain and the knockouts that are being used, Shen has the potential to land a four-man taunt even, and then there's also Tamkench being able to just immediately devour someone right after he like lands the Q damage, and then Brand gets hover here, so that's also another good pick because Brand is a lot of damage in terms of the early to mid game, and even in the late game when it comes to his damage scaling, especially since his passive makes him do that percent HP damage with his ability power.
I would like the the Annie here, just because it's more of the traditional counter, I believe, to Ari. Just because it's very point and click, it's very simple. There's not much you can do in that matchup, but it is going to be the Brand lock in. Brand, a mage, a burst slash just overall crazy AOE damage mage that's seeing a lot of hype and resurgence in this current meta. Does all, I mean, he's Brand, right? He just does a lot of damage to anyone around him if he can land his skills. That is the key thing, though, there is that I believe this is a skill matchup 100% because the Ahri has all the opportunity to dodge everything that the Brand shoots, and the Brand has enough damage to just completely wipe out the Ahri, assuming he can land his abilities.
Right, and there's one thing I want to mention too is the fact that since Brandon is very immobile, you always want to pair him with someone that has the ability to protect them. And they do that have that right here with the Tam Kench. You see if they're trying to kill Brand, just have Tam eat him, keep him safe, and then you spin him back out. He also does a lot of damage thereafter.
Guys, I don't know if you guys noticed it. I just noticed it right now. Blue team they swap roles. Anomaly's going ADC. Army Sports going top. Arrows is going mid. So yeah, that's actually gonna be interesting for me to watch now. I don't know how Arrows is gonna perform on this Ari. So this is gonna be interesting.
But yeah, we're gonna see how the Soraka pick helps out Fernando because we seen Soraka get a lot of bans in solo queue, along with getting an incoming nerf next patch too to her safety. So it's gonna be very interesting to see if the pick can either be punished either in lane, because if it doesn't get punished in lane, then it's just gonna scale in terms of her healing mid to late game, just because it'll be a constant heal. We're talking like a heal every 2 seconds ish, give or take. That's not including if she gets cooldown reduction or not. Because she does get cooldown reduction, and we're talking like a 1.33 second cooldown on her heal. It's disgusting enough already as is.
Let's see. I mean, just judging by both teams, I kind of like blue teams better because I prefer damage over tanks. Tanks you can ignore in team fights if you scale well enough. So basically, purple team's only real scaling damage is Tristana, and Tristana, while she received, I guess, a few buffs and nerfs here and there, I prefer to have more than 1 or 2 damage threats. So I don't know. I like blue team this time. Like them a lot.
But yeah, we're gonna see how these fights go out though, because even though they have this tanky front line in the form of Siren, I don't think he'll be able to survive the damage coming out from this Tristana and Bran here in these team fights. And then there's the fact that if I remember correctly, Shen does win the 1v1 matchup into the Malphite just because he heals a lot more and he can just go for the taunt. Even though Shen is kind of low on the damage, he's still a strong split pushing threat in the sense that he can just, split push and just try to take towers, and then he has the global presence with the Stand United as well. That's also another great thing I like about their composition, because if Krug Life decides to eliminate Brand to punish Brand's mobility, right? You have Tam Kench's Devour, and then you also have the Stand United to help keep Brand safe, and you don't have to use any of those abilities on Tristana because Tristana has enough self-heal already as is. She's gonna have Rocket Jump, she's gonna have Buster Shot, she's gonna be perfectly safe when these team fights to come.
I got it. This is the matchup that we should be watching. The jungle. Malphite jungle, crap clear, can't really gank until level 6. And on the other side, Diana, maybe it's a redemption game for them. Like you said, she was 5-1 at one point. So if blue team plays it smartly, if they ward up the enemy jungle, keep interrupting Malphite, make him unable to scale, then I think they can have a really good grasp on the mid game. So I want to watch the junglers and see if there's anything going on here. Like I want to see them actually play the team game instead of playing solo queue. That would be interesting.
Well, I can tell you one thing for sure, guys. Top lane is going to be the largest wet noodle fight I think I've ever seen in my life. So probably not going to be seeing a whole lot of issue there. Most likely, we're going to be seeing M Star once again try and rush 6 on this Diana. It's going to be up to US Economy to kind of dictate, to be honest, the early game. We would think, traditionally the Malphite jungle, same deal. You really want to hit 6 because before 6, you don't really have the greatest of ganks. All you can really do is toss a Q and walk in the lane and toss a Q and hope the slow is enough for your laner to be able to deal damage. But of course, we thought the same. I thought the same way in the matches yesterday, and he's proved me wrong. He was able to definitely find gaps in the vision of the opposite team and get those ganks that were very effective. But here we are, folks. We are on the loading screen. We're about to enter the Rift once again. The teams have switched sides, so it is going to be on the blue side is going to be Krug Life, and on the red side is going to be Royal Luck. Royal Luck, of course, winning 1-0 in this best of 3. If they win this next game, and I'm going to double check the schedule just to be sure, they will be moving on to the quarterfinals to play against Team NYNBW. And that would be hosted next week. So definitely going to be a good game there to watch. But here we are as we get into the Rift. How do you think this game is going to play out, boys? What are your predictions?
So just off of seeing how well Royal Luck had adjusted shot calling in the last game, I feel that if they can keep the same things in mind in terms of just what they prioritize when they see the movements happen on the map, I feel that this could be another easy win for them, as they'll get advantages from the early game and then snowball the mid game, because that's what I saw from them. It was a little even in the early game between the two teams, and they just snowballed the mid game through good decision making. And now we have the war coming down here. The lands the auto attack onto Alpha Ellie.
Is there what champions can kill the ward level 1?
Leona is one, because you can auto it, get the auto attack reset if you Q and then auto it again. I think Tristana can potentially be one if you start Q level 1 for whatever reason. Let's see. There's some jungler that can do it. I think Lee Sin can, where if you auto it, you Q, get your increased attack speed, and auto it for the next 2 hits, I think.
It would be really close, that's for sure. Huh. Well, anyway, Army Spartan is going to be in the top lane now, I believe. That was a substitution swap.
Also, Nilly can do it too with the Q, where you go into Kruger form and you auto attack it, get the Q for the auto attack reset, and auto it again.
But yeah, Army Spartan, he's playing on his most comfortable champion, his Scion. So I'm going to be interested to see how these top laners, Shen running teleport as well, will be teleporting into fights, especially Shen, who can do it twice as often because of his ultimate, and how this will curve the fighting dynamic of the bottom and mid lanes. Once again, this mid lane is going to be pretty volatile. Either mid laner, both running Ignite. So I expect to see some blood here. It's just going to be a complete skill match depending on who can land the correct skill shots at the right time. And boys, so talk to me about Tom Ketch in the support lane. How is he fair against your traditional lanes?
So the thing about Tam Kench that's very noticeable in terms of just like his kit is that unless he can actually get the gap close onto you in order to devour you, he's actually very countable in terms of the 2v2 matchups. So he loses 2v2 into a lot of lane matchups, but he makes up for it just through the utility that he provides in the mid game, along with the really crazy damage that he does when he's actually finally gets the devour off on someone. So it's one thing for teams to note that you have to take advantage of the fact that you can kite against him. And then one thing to also note is that his attack range actually got reduced when the patch before. It used to be a 200 attack range, now it's 175. So it's a little bit easier to kite him now as well.
Right now I'm not liking what Diana did. What Diana did was that she did Krug, then she did chickens, then she went to blue buff, and she warded her own red. And she's under the assumption that Malphite is going to somehow invade her. Like, I kind of don't understand. Like, it's Diana. Like, you can pretty much kill Malphite in the jungle.
And we have the US account going for his early level 3 gank. As Verticide rocket jumps in, they can't quite get any damage down, but they do get the flash on Anomaly.
Gonna be an early flash burn there, but we are seeing just how annoying this Soraka pick can be as Vijay trying his best to catch up in CS, but just facing a relentless harassment barrage from Anomaly every single time Vijay steps to auto attack.
Right, there's one thing I was mentioning about the tank catch though is how like because he's melee range and because of his kit, he loses a lot of 2v2 matches, and this is one of them that he loses just because in this matchup what basically ends up happening is that Soraka has the long range healing with the Q on herself, can just heal Caitlyn if Caitlyn takes any damage, and Caitlyn is just free to harass Tristana wherever she feels like, because even if she does a bad trade against Tristana, it just gets heals up over time by Soraka, who's just going to heal up her own HP over time by just landing easy Qs onto Tam Kench.
Yeah. So far from what I'm seeing, blue side is letting Null fight just free jungle, do whatever he wants. Top lane is a free farm lane. I mean, if this keeps up, red side's gonna win just by default of scaling. Like.
Oh, the taunt lands, and you know.
I would be like, let's just do something crazy, just throw them off their game.
It's going to be up to, I believe it's going to be up to the group fighting, right? Because with the Soraka, you have a Soraka, Caitlyn, right? And a Diana. There's like legitimately zero pick potential there as a Jewfish here takes a little bit of harassment in top lane, but there's very low pick potential there. So it's going to be about rotating as a unit with arrows, right, as a four-man squad, and just having Army Spartan flank. That's going to be the most important thing.
All right, here we have MStar trying to potentially look for a gank right as he tries to look for the flank right here, where he's trying to get the Q onto Tam Kench as his explosive shot comes out onto MStar, and not much damage being happening, but
look at that. What
does get devoured to keep Redis safe. And another gank happened in the top lane at the same time, where Sion actually didn't even have to flash it as well, but he is out of mana, so he'll probably have to just base it in TV back to lane soon.
I'm a little curious about the CS lead. Already Shen's up 10 CS. I'm not sure if that was because of the US economy's pressure or...
Oh, he just missed a lot of CS.
I think it's just because of the lane match, just because Shen just has a lot more sustain compared to Sion.
Okay.
I mean, I was kind of watching them. Sion in the beginning, I guess around level 1 through 3, he was pushing towards, you know, Shen's towers. It's just he was hitting the last hit, so Sion was just missing it.
Okay.
Well, one thing to note right now though is that Shen is level 6, so the Stand United utility is up for help. So if MStar decides to do any gank into any lane that isn't the Shen lane, he has to be wary of the Stand United being used.
And for mid lane, Brand is ahead in CS as well, so that's a small lead. They have in gold.
Actually also goes for mid lane too, because if he tries to do the 1v1 in mid lane, he also has to be wary of the Stand United being used as well.
Basically, the one, I wouldn't call it a saving grace or not, just because the gold is even. But basically, the one advantage, if you will, for the side of Krug Life is Anomaly CS lead of about 10, give or take, over Ridge's side. But we are going to be seeing Jewfish facing down a Sion and a Diana. Sion, you're going to be using that ultimate.
Oh, he actually misses it, and the flash from Jewfish keeping himself alive.
I think that was a little premature on the ultimate cancellation. I would have just turned into the wall. Even if you didn't hit him, you would have still dealt the damage. I think that was a bit of a misplay there from Army Spartan, but a good flash nonetheless from Jewfish, making sure that he gets out of life safely. Anomaly trying to dissuade Warlock from this Baron. Misfire getting him ignited in flashes, I want to say a little prematurely as well. A little bit of a hesitancy on the side of Krug Life, not really too confident in their own plays, canceling things a little early. A little favor will be receiving that Shen shield. He's going to be all right to party. He's going to flash in even. First blood for Anomaly. I'm going to have to double check on what just happened there. Jewfish trying to dissuade them, but no dice. They will pick up the dragon in exchange for 2 deaths. MStar looking for a flank. You're not going to find anything. Arrows, you're buddy. You're not going to be able to land anything either. Foxfire is going to be the only spell you'll be casting. There's a stun. There's a taunt. Adios, arrivederci, bucko. You're going down. MStar, no ultimate to be found here either. He's going to be walking away. Question, gentlemen. What happened to U.S. economy? Dragon?
Dragon whittled him down to very low HP. So he started running away. And then I guess he came back a little too soon.
Yeah, he also doesn't have level 6 either, so he doesn't have access to the Unstoppable Force just yet.
Yeah, so it's just a combination of bad luck and just overextending, overstaying. That's about it.
Well, they got the dragon, but it's going to cost them about a 1,000 gold lead, and it's going to be up to Anomaly. And we talked about this, right? You see this ridiculous tank line coming in from the side of Royal Luck. The Shen with the shields, the Tahm Kench. Let's not talk about that. And the Malphite, which we know is the armor god, second only to maybe Tark, who's also something that we just don't talk about on this stream. But anyway, if Anomaly can balloon this lead, already almost a, 25, 26 CS lead, kill up almost a full level ahead, he can bypass that mid-game kind of drop that all Caitlyn's experience, and just get to that early game. And if he can pick up the really early Last Whisper, even better, so that he can just shred through the front line of Royal Luck and be that AD carry threat, that AD carry presence that his team is going to really need to be able to pierce through the front line.
Interesting.
I also want to talk. I haven't played him. Ooh, nice dodge. Nice shadow. Is it Shadow Dash, I believe? Yeah, Shadow Dash. Nice dodge there on Jewfish. I'm a top lane main, but I haven't played Science since basically the last couple patches before Juggernauts. It was when
Malphite.
Malphite, does he have level 6? Yes, he does. He is going to be walking over ward. He does not care. Anomaly just does have flash. He's going to be forced to use it. The answer is no, because Sirach is a balanced champion. As I was saying, Sion rushing Caulfield's Warhammer. If I ever went aggressive as Sion, as he used a Shadow Dash, but he's going to be all right. I would always go Black Cleaver. I never really liked... it's just I would always go the health component first of the Black Cleaver, just because the more health you have, the more of a presence you'll be, especially when you're teleporting in, and I don't feel that the CDR is going to be too much help in the lane against a Shen. You're not going to kill him anyway, just because he's got the sustain.
I actually hated when they changed the Black Cleaver build hack, because before it was Phage Kindle Gem, and then now it's Phage and Caulfield's Hammer. I like the Kindle Gem a lot more.
Kindle Gem a lot more.
Just for the extra HP, I felt was better.
Yeah. The Warhammer is nice for CSing, and I guess that'll help him out because he's been missing a lot of CS. Although he's catching up now, or actually he's ahead now, but that's because Jewfish had to teleport bot lane. But I'm not the biggest fan. I do wish that they had kept the Kindle Gem just because it benefited those tanks more. But on the flip side, the Warhammer is better for more aggressive kind of AD champions that are looking to buy that. US economy though, trying to be a sneaky rock, but a rock is not a tree, my friend. You're not going to be out in there for too long. M-Star trying to run away. We'll get a double force. There's...
Oh, he flashes the stun from the brand, and the US economy getting saved by the Stand United with the Ignite taking on the Arya as she dodges the taunt, but the Scion actually came in with a teleport of his own. Gets a knock up onto Jewfish with Alpha Ellie getting charmed as Arrow's doing his best to kite back with the HP pot ticking. And Jewfish taunts over the wall as there is a little miscommunication right there as they were like bit off a little bit more than they could chew on that one.
Absolutely. A little bit too precarious to be diving in between two turrets, that's for certain. Great.
Well, see, here's the one thing to notice about this game, though, the fact that there are two very important global abilities in this game right now. One is a Stand United from the Shen, as he's clearly saw on the brand, which saved him, and the second ability is the Wish from Soraka. That ability is very, very low key in terms of just global pressure, just because no one ever expects the Soraka Wish being used.
I'm not sure, actually. We mentioned this before. Riot should, I'm going to write a very courteous email to Riot. They should definitely add some sort of option or talent tree or what have you to the spectator client that allows us to
see the keystones, right?
Yeah, because that'd be pretty important, because it also helps to see, you know, who's running, for example, Thunderlord.
Oh yeah, that's right, because the Wind Speaker Blessing on Soraka actually increases the resistances of the target too, so if she does do the Wish, they're even harder to kill.
And gentlemen, something I wanted to mention that the chat brought up, and thank you, chat. Shout out to the chat. You guys are awesome on Twitch there. Berserker's Greaves Rush from Rijasai. I think that was more probably because he was forced to back at really awkward times and could only afford components, and he saved up for a BF sword. But that definitely is hurting him. Look at the difference between him and Anomaly. BF sword, Berserker Greaves versus a fully completed Infinity Edge. Now, granted, Infinity Edge Power Spike not as, you know, powerful as it was previously, but that's still a very big difference. As we see Anomaly here just laying into a little favor. And that's also the issue here from the Tahm Kench is that, yes, you can build armor later on, especially if you decide to combine your Sightstone and your, I guess in this case, Relic Shield into one item. I forgot the name of it.
Oh, it steps on the trap, so he takes a lot of damage. Because remember, if you step on the Caitlyn trap, she gets the auto attack range buff on her next auto on you. And
Okay, so wow. So slowly but surely, blue side, let's see, the mid laner pretty much just got past Brand in terms of gold advantage. And Sion is ahead of Shen as well.
oh, we have Alpha Ellie trying to look for this gank, but will they actually be able to kill Anomaly as Soraka is doing his best to keep her alive with Papaya using as many heals as possible. The heals just isn't enough as there's just too much burst at his red side. Rocket jumps in for the double kill as he falls to M-Star right thereafter.
A little tidbit there that irks me is you're running away. For starters, Anomaly should have recognized, right, that he was dead no matter what. The reason being is that the U.S. economy had still had unstoppable force. He could have at least been auto-attacking on his way out. He's at an Infinity Edge. He's doing so much damage right now. At the very least, he should have been auto-attacking as he was retreating to at least deal as much pressure and damage as he could before he died. Because
if he had the Warlord Mastery too, he would also have healed off of that as well.
Well, I mean, he probably would have gotten one-shotted with the unstoppable force. Plus, I forgot the name of Brand's ultimate. Is it Pyroclasm? Pyroclasm? Yeah, that's it. He was dead no matter what, I think.
Yeah.
Without his fight.
One thing to note, though, is that the Stand United wasn't used on Redis side after he did his little tower dive right there.
That's also true. Probably a miscommunication there. Just
when I feel like he probably could have lived if that happened because he would have gotten the reset. Oh, that has a lot of damage coming out there as Ace in the Hole gets used, but Tahm Kench just blocks it.
If you eat, let's say you devour the person who's about to get ulted as the bullet's traveling in the air, does Caitlyn receive any benefit, like a cooldown reset, or is it just wasted?
I think it is reset for the next, it goes on cooldown for 6 seconds and you get it back.
I would hope so, because if it went on full
cooldown. If she fires it though, and then you ate her, then it will go on cooldown. If she fires it, if she doesn't fire it and then you eat them, and then it won't go on. It will go on cooldown for 6 seconds. But yeah, that's basically the interaction between that. So basically, you just have to wait for Caitlyn to fire it so that it goes on the full cooldown.
As we are getting into the beginnings of the mid-game, 16.5 minutes on the clock. A much closer game than the first, that's absolutely for sure, as now Kruglife are steadily in the lead, 5-3 in kills, 0 attacks, 0 turrets. About let's call it a 2,000 gold lead, point blank right there. Kill distribution, I actually really like this. Check it out. Full equalized kill distribution on the side of Kruglife. 1 kill apiece for every single member. They're sharing, they're carrying, they're a happy family right there. On the side of Royal Luck, Versus side 2-1-0. Double BF sword. Not quite certain what
interesting
what the idea there
question
is.
Mark.
One's an infinity.
Like he does that usually when he plays EDC.
One will be an Infinity Edge. I'm assuming the other's a Bloodthirster because you're not gonna go Essence Reaver on Triss.
I was expecting him to attempt to finish Rapid Fire Cannon because you could do BF into Rapid Fire Cannon because then you have the attack damage, or maybe BF Pickaxe into Rapid Fire, but
maybe because he has the Greaves, the Berserker Greaves, he's just it's a really, really cookie cutter, just kind of bare bones build, right? Attack speed, AD. That's it. No passive, nothing. I can't.
It is 80 attack damage, but then you factor in that Caitlyn has the critical strike modifier as well.
No, I'm not authenticating its efficiency. It's just it's very straightforward, right? What do you need as an 80 carry? You need attack damage. You need attack speed. Bam! There you go.
This reminds me of the one time when I was we have the unstoppable force being used onto 2 targets as this tower die goes down, but it seems it's a little too much than Royal Luck wanted for it, as Pyro's trying to look for something, but couldn't quite get anything. But there are a lot of low targets on the side of Royal Luck. So as I was mentioning from before, with the build path for the Tristano, we have the Flash Charm being used, but not quite in range for it, as we have the Scion. Oh wait, I think the Scion all got used, right? Wait, what? Why did it get used?
I think he tried to cancel Stand United, but it was too late.
Oh, this one
there's a shadow
lands onto
dash.
arrows, and it seems this could be the end of arrows right
Into
here
the
with this
flash.
rocket heal. Not quite enough to save him.
The I forgot the name of the ability, but the flame pillar that Alpha Ellie's shooting right now does so much damage. It is ridiculous. What's the name of the ability? Let me see. Oh, it's Pillar of Flame. Look at that. Oh my
The
god.
one time Riot decides to name their name something simple, because I know that for Bars Q they call it Cosmic Binding. I'm just like, why is it cosmic?
Right?
The more I'm watching this game right now, the more I have to say that I'm a little disappointed in Saya not being more proactive with his ult and his teleports. I mean, the only time he uses his ult was to either cancel Shen's ult or to try to kill Shen. But he doesn't have as much damage or CC to actually kill him, so I believe he failed in those attempts. I mean, you have Saya and you have a pretty scary ult. Like, why did he try to ult mid? Try to kill Brand with it, or I guess try to pop something bot lane with your ult. I mean, you have. I'm just a little disappointed in I guess his passive reactive play. That's just. I mean, yeah, his score is 1-0-0, good CS, and he got the tower, but it feels like he's not making an impact right now, like Shen's doing.
To play devil's advocate, I suppose you could argue that he's focusing more on just applying pressure to the top lane, and he didn't. He did manage to get the turret down, so he did take the turret for his team. He gives his team that global gold. I would have liked, because he has teleport right now.
Exactly.
He has teleport right now. I think he should still be pushing the top lane, because they're not. You have a Caitlyn. You can siege with a Caitlyn, of course, and you have the Soraka heal to sustain any damage you take while sieging. But at the same time, it's only a 2,500 gold lead. Make that 3,500. I still feel that if they get a really good engage, right? If US Economy can unstoppable force onto the Soraka, because early game and mid game you have to kill the Soraka. If the fight extends long enough, the Soraka is just gonna out-heal all the damage that your team can apply, and you're gonna lose the fight.
Oh, one thing to know, so is that the Shen opted to go for the Ionian boost. So this was one thing I was talking about before, where why did top laners start getting Ionian boost? Because it has the reduced summoner spell cooldown on both the flash and the teleport. So when you have Ionian boost and the sorcery channel, we're talking about 3 minutes cooldown on your flash. Not your flash, your teleport on your teleport. 3-minute cooldown.
Oh, that sucks.
Alpha Ellie, keep in mind, Alpha Ellie did complete Rylus, so this is a slowing Brand. You get hit by anything, you're going to get stunned next, and you're just going to get blown right up.
That Pillar of Fire might be a land on an eventual target.
Oh, absolutely. But also, you saw the damage. Anomaly took about half his health just from one Pillar of Flame, and look.
Oh, the knock does land, but no, there was no charm fall up there after. I was surprised the charm didn't land.
You know what? If I was a red team right now, I would send the blue team a message. We already won the first game. We don't care if we're gonna lose the second game or not. What we're gonna do is just engage on you randomly. Just not fight flash, ult, everyone just follow in. If you guys get ace,
that would be good if they do decide to. But one thing I don't like about Royal Luck right now is that they shouldn't be having that Shen splitting, because if a fight breaks out, he can just use Stand United to rejoin the fight, and they should just. Like, what should happen here is that they should have Malphite Flash ult in with Stand United being used onto the side Shen, but the Unstoppable Force gets used onto the Soraka as Alpha Ellie gets died onto 2 targets with arrows trying to take down Tam Kench with Anomaly doing a little bit of damage on the side, as the rest of Royal Luck is trying to run away from this team fight that they try to start, but realize that they actually did not have anything strong going for them into that team fight. So here's what went wrong for that team fight for them. So Bran got died by Ari and the Diana. What Royal Luck needs to realize is that Tam Kench has to stand next to Bran to keep him safe. That's the thing about Bran, right? He's this high damage mage that's very immobile. Ari, Diana, multiple dashes can just jump and dive right on top of him and do so much burst damage. You need to make sure Tam Kench just stands next to him. And along with that, what I don't like about it, as I mentioned before that 5-star, is that Shen wasn't split pushing. If you're a Shen with teleport and Stand United up, you should constantly be split pushing. I don't care who you are. You should constantly be split pushing. You can immediately join the fight with Stan United. And in that case, had that fight started with Shen in a side lane, he could have just used Stan United on Brand, kept himself safe, Brand gets devoured, and then maybe the fight goes to your favor because Brand stays alive. We'll see this fight happen right here. As he hourglasses the Brand pyroclasm, but still goes down as the rest of their team isn't there to help her out. So I hope that Royal Luck realizes that this is what they need to do for team fights. Keep Brand safe. Tristana can keep herself safe, has enough self-heal in her kit to keep herself out of danger. You have to make sure Brand stays alive so you get out all the damage you need in these fights. You're going to scale really well into the late game just because you have Malphite, Tahm Kench, and the Shen. Once Shen gets armor and once Malphite gets armor, we're talking at 30-minute mark, potentially an unkillable tank line.
Or how about this though? What if Tahm Kench isn't staying near Brand because he's trying to teach him a lesson? He's trying to tell him, you know, Brand, if you're not in position, and if you're gonna just keep getting caught out, then you know what? I'm just gonna go out there and do just a lot of damage without protecting you.
They say the
Very
best
good lesson
teachers are the cruelest ones.
Exactly. See?
And that had to be the certain case there. But we are 24.5 minutes into this game, ladies and gentlemen. 8-5, a more or less 5,000 gold lead in the favor of Krug Life here, as they're going to be posturing once again into the mid lane. I think so far that Krug Life is, for the most part, doing what they need to be doing. They're sieging decently. They're playing their team fights well enough. Especially kudos to M-Star and Arrows. They're focusing the Brand. They're focusing their priority targets as soon as possible, and they're doing a really good job.
The net gets used, but it seems it won't be enough to save him. Silence gets used as well, but the tower is there, but it just won't save you. But Soraka just might save you. Actually, it's not even Soraka can save you, but the charm does land into the US Academy, and he falls in response, and it's a 1-for-1 trade.
Disruption. Army Spartan just used his...
As you can see, this Black Cleaver Scion actually gives him enough damage to actually fight this Shen.
He's using Unstoppable Onslaught to interrupt the...
Oh, damn. They actually in with the Lunar Rush, and a lot of damage gets taken back in reaction. I'm surprised Soraka actually did not die from the Brand AoE damage.
So, looking at these item builds here, we are going to be seeing... We see the double Zon is already out on the side of Team Krug Life. And, okay, yes, of course you can argue that Royal Luck is behind in gold. However, here is where I am going to be having... This is where I have the issue with the choice of build that Regicide has chosen. There's already 2 Zanyas on the side of Krug Life and the Ninja Tabis on the Scion. Although I think whatever he's building next to, which looks like a Banshee's Veil, is a mistake. I think he should be building armor because Alpha Ellie's not going to be focusing Scion at all. But that's another point. My point is that Regicide, look at him. He finished Infinity Edge, finally. Now he's going to be building what I assume is going to be Rapid Fire Cannon. It's 26.5 minutes. When is he going to get that last Whisper? Someone please tell me that. Because
at least the good thing for him when it comes to getting last Whisper is that last Whisper, like for the base item, is only 1,300 gold now, so it's pretty gold efficient in that you get armor penetration for 1,300 gold. So if you want to finish the last Whisper though, that's a topic for another day, because I feel that if you feel that you don't need the last Whisper upgrades,
they have a Soraka. Someone needs to get Mortal Reminder, otherwise Army Spartan's just going to be an unstoppable, unkillable, undead behemoth.
See, here's the funny thing about Mortal Reminder. So previous moves this season, they got changed up so that instead of affecting all sources of healing, it only affects self-healing. So it actually doesn't affect Soraka's heal.
Okay.
Unless it's like her healing herself.
Okay. Okay. Oh, wow, I did not know.
I actually hated that change this season. It's one of the reasons why Soraka is such a pain to deal with now, the fact that previous moves only affects self-healing now.
That is quite unfortunate. Well then, ladies and gentlemen, ban Soraka. You heard it here first. Intralo.
I think, yeah, U.S. economy is making the same mistake that the Malphite from the last game is making. He's not focusing on one complete item. Like, yes, he finished Thunderhawk, he finished Merc Treads, and now he's kind of split off into what he wants to build next.
I also hate that the Shen actually isn't split pushing, so he really needs to just split push. You have Stand United and Teleport, just split push. Like, what are you afraid of? If your team gets caught, you just Stand United right into the fight.
they're letting Tristana, I guess, split push.
Oh, the Ignite ticks onto US economy as...
Oh! The Stand United juke away, fade away. Army Spartan going to be interrupted there. Jewfish, though, deciding he hasn't had enough of this ball yet. He wants to get back into the action. Maybe he's looking to line up that Shadow Dash onto the Ari or the Caitlyn and the Soraka combined.
Yeah, you have the Dead Man's Play trying to be completed right here for the Tan Kench. As Nami nets out the Pillar of Fire damage.
That is, looking at the brand right now, he's sitting on a Ryla's Haunting, guys. So actually, it's not the most AP that you would think, right? It's only about 100, that's what, 170 AP, give or take? In comparison with, Arrows.
Oh, the Charm landing on a little favor, and not a lot of follow-up damage there after, just because, you know, the thick skin from the Tan Kench, and each Shen because he felt like doing it.
We got a 4,000.
And another Charm landing onto a little favor. The Grievous was taking on him from the Morel Nomicon, and the Krug Life is going to continue keeping up this siege onto this tier 2 tower at the moment, as the Dragon is live and right now, actually. So they can opt to do Dragon. It would be their second Dragon of the game. As Alpha LA walks into the Sayonaka.
Why I don't understand why neither Shen nor Sion are trying to split push. Like, Shen during that defense really didn't do much except eat traps, and Sion just kind of acted like some kind of front for them, but I think it was better suited if they were both still split pushing, like you said.
I mean, what I'm surprised at is how Krug Life actually just gave up this Dragon, because when it spawned, they were actually had the most advantageous spot to take it. If I was them when that Dragon spawned, I would have cleared vision around the pit and just looked to have gotten a pick with the Ari Charm, because then Royal Luck would have been face checking into an Ari Charm, and they could potentially have gotten a pick onto a potential target. So I'm actually surprised they actually gave up that Dragon.
Well, I don't know what you guys are talking about split pushing. As far as I'm aware, Summoner's Rift becomes ARAM after 30 minutes. As we see everyone into the mid lane piling onto the siege. Army Spartan going to be going onto Jewfish. Doesn't manage to land the knockup from the decimating smash. There's the Unstoppable Force, does land into Anomaly. He's going to be taking a lot of damage. Jewfish trying to chase, will not be able to. Arrow trying to put the pressure down as Army Spartan trying to save his friend. M-Star going to be going down. Jewfish challenging Stand United, trying to keep his friends alive. Arrow is barely kept alive by Miss Papaya, putting in as much heals as possible. Force to Zanya's Anomaly, 80 carry, doing work, putting in as much damage as he can, auto-attacking left and right. Gets the double kill.
Tom misses, so that's going to be a triple kill for Anomaly.
What an explosive.
Oh, and is this the ace in the hole finish for the quadra kill for Anomaly?
And Rijisai, scumbag, refusing to fight. Will not be allowing the penta to happen, but it is going to be an inhibitor going down in the mid lane. Unless, of course, Rijisai channels, I don't know, double it Gosu and
do it.
Everyone wants to fight.
No, he can't do it unless he kills Soraka first.
This is Soraka.
Jump in there. Now.
Will he still get the penta if they killed him right now? I don't think so, right?
He wanted.
It'd be way too long.
But yeah, he can't really do much right here, so with the inhibitor down, Krug can potentially consider taking this Baron.
Tristana's doing no work right now, come on.
The spawn, Shen has TP, so he'll be able to get there. Alpha LE is still down for 8 seconds. With the Soraka, they absolutely could posture this Baron if they get the correct vision control around it. But it looks like they're just going to want to back and wait. Well, the Army Spartan getting his interrupt canceled. I think he's going to be just fine. Soraka's nearby. He's going to be healing him up, no problem. A little favor, stepping on the trap. 1, 2, 3,
Death.
4. Gonna be eating more 80 carry shots from Anomaly, critting really hard. Oh, the Devourer is gonna be keeping Regis Sai alive. The little favor is gonna be going down from the Unstoppable Onslaught arrows. Trying to get onto Regis Sai. Does not connect with the Over Deception. Will be going down. M-Star, the next combatant. A new challenger has approached. M-Star forces Zanya's US economy. Being a rock, just tumbling around, trying to get that Unstoppable Force ready. Will not connect. That is going to be a 1-for-1 trade, although it is the mid laner for the support, so it is in favor of Royal Luck, perhaps giving them the respite they need. But no, Anomaly saying, I'm huge, I'm going to be destroying this Baron, no problem. And looks like Royal Luck's not even going to posture, he's not even going to try and attempt to steal, so it's going to be a free Baron here after the fight.
Don't you know? Farm is always better, it's always more worth than Baron. Come on, man. If you play 80 carry, like, you should know. You should, like, you always prioritize farm over Baron or any other objections. So I mean, I don't see a problem with this. Sure, you give a free Baron, but you know what? You got free farm. Worth. Mad worth.
Baron Nashor to Krug Life on the blue side. It's going to be 33 and a half minutes into the game, 14 to 9, up about let's call it a 9,000, 8.5, 9,000 gold lead in the favor of Royal Luck. We're going to see how they can, or excuse me, of Krug Life. We're going to see how they can make the most of this Baron buff, where they're going to be taking it. We've been talking about this a lot, and I want to see this done right here. I want to see them split with this Baron buff. The mid lanes are already down in the mid lane. They could easily just send Army Spartan bot lane while the rest of the team goes forward top and to take the inner turret and then the inhibitor. Army Spartan CD, teleport CD is on cooldown right now, but it should be up within the next 30 to 40 seconds. Of course, they could also just dogpile top lane, and that'd be just completely fine as well. But we're talking efficiency here, and I believe splitting with the respawn would be the most efficient. But regardless, this is surely an indefensible inner turret, as a little favor is just going to be taking a lot of damage from that Orb of Deception. Jewfish, not really sure what he's trying to achieve here, just kind of walking back and forth. Gets a CS, maybe it was worth it. M-Star, though, posturing his team away. Use Economy is going to be forced to flash. He actually doesn't even want to use his ultimate. He flashes to get away. Rijasai, what happened to you, buddy? You're scratched up. Did you pick on the you picked the wrong fight on the playground? You're gonna have to go home and heal up, buddy.
But yeah, this looks like it could be a potential win on the side of Krug Life right here, as they have this very strong Caitlyn, as I mentioned from before, that the 2v2 matchup on Bali, as Redesai gets caught out, Sang United gets you, so he just barely lives. Summoner Heal also gets popped as Tam Kench devours Brand, but look what's happening in the rest of this fight. It's just Royal Luck is just so far behind. Redesai is not doing enough damage on this Tristana at this stage of the game right now. Oh, and this Caitlyn is just doing work with the damage. This is a 4-item Caitlyn right now.
There's the first kill in return on the side of Royal Luck.
It looks like they could potentially end the game right here. They do have the Baron minions and the Caitlyn for the siege, and Soraka with the heals as well, the ace in the hole being used on the Alpha Ellie. Doesn't quite finish him off as Caitlyn pushes the rest of the tower. As Redesai falls to the red buff damage.
That'll be the game right there.
And that is game. This game 2 goes over to the side of Krug Life.
Krug Life with a great turnaround victory, and it is going to be an even game.
Good job, Krug Life. Good job.
And we will be having a game 3. And just what an impressive, overall, what an impressive turnaround from the side of Krug Life, managing to shrug off their first game loss and, you know, pick this composition, pick these, what I felt were pretty comfortable champions for all of them, and just make it work. We saw the Diana jungle once again. Wasn't perhaps as prevalent, but we did see anomalies, expertise, definitely make a strong appearance here on the Rift. And, you know, now it's going to be up to Royal Luck this time to kind of go back to the drawing board and think, you know, what should we ban? Should we have let them have the Soraka? Was it the Soraka that was an issue?
So it's funny that you mentioned if Soraka was an issue. So I'm just going to do a little mathematics real quick. So I'm looking at the damage graph right now. So Brand did 26k damage. So that's just off of mid lane damage, 26k. So now I'm going to look at how much healing was done that game. And Soraka did 21k in terms of healing that game. Now, granted, obviously, like, some of the healing is done in the early game, but when you think about it, if Brand did 26k damage and Soraka healed for 21k, they basically just nullified all the damage coming out of mid lane with just one champion pick off of healing done alone. This is like, you know, not saying that healing was done in the team fight or anything, because, you know, obviously laning does play a part, but that's really scary, you know, that much damage got nullified by one champion.
Actually, I think the main problem that Royal Luck had over here was two things. One, Malphite jungle was highly ineffective, and Diana did damage. And number two, like, you know, they first picked Soraka. If you're gonna pick Tahm Kench, just shove him top lane and pick someone that could go ham with Tristana right on top of Soraka, because Tristana and Tahm Kench, you guys they were just getting bullied all game bot lane, and they couldn't really get anything going. And they actually saw Soraka being first picked, so they could just, you know, chosen a team comp around negating her heals, but they didn't, so they suffered the price. So I don't know.
Well, with that, we are going to be taking a quick little break here, folks, before we get into game 3. Don't go anywhere. We will be right back.